All right. Paul Marcos Ocean Camera Space Corp, everybody. How you doing? It is February 23rd, I believe, 2022. Here, that way is Brownsville, and that way is SpaceX launch site and also the build site. Starbase is that way, and this is a road coming from the Port of Brownsville that they built over the last 12 months here. So it comes out here, and what we're seeing is two tanks here along the side of the road. I'm not sure what the purpose or the origin of these tanks are, but it's kind of interesting and definitely worth a video. You can see this direction here is down that way is toward Brownsville. So that is, we're just past the checkpoint here. And these white tanks were on the side of the road as I was driving towards SpaceX today. It is now, what time is it? It's 2:30, 2:39, Wednesday, February 23rd. And to the right here, well, I'll get some other shots. I'll see if they start down the road with these tanks or not. But I just recorded this in 4K as well. I uploaded it. It's still processing, but you could check it out in a higher resolution if you'd like to. William, it is time, huh? Yep. And over here is this is the road down to SpaceX, and you can see we can see a lot of these new telephone poles have been put up along the side of the road here. And on the opposite side of the road, there are some much smaller telephone poles. But they did install all of these. They installed all of these telephone poles. It's about an 18-mile from here to the launch site. So they have been installing these one by one all the way down. And I did some video of them raising up these telephone lines and poles. And I mean, electrical. These aren't telephone poles, but this is, I believe, electrical, maybe three-phase. And I'll get some close-ups of what we're looking at here. But so they are massively improving the electrical infrastructure down to the launch site and down to the build site from Brownsville. I guess they don't want to build a big generator down there. I know they are building a kind of they have a 5-stack system over there by the Sanchez site where they can produce their own power, but it looks like they also want to have electrical going down to that location as well. I guess for maybe also all the property owners and everything else that they want to build in that direction, they got to have all this electrical infrastructure. I'll get some close-up shot of the power line here while we're waiting. This is a pretty advanced connector here. I believe what we're looking at is a 3-phase system, because we got 3 of those connectors up there. And I did see them much further down by the build site. They were burying cable. There were 3 of these large packets of cable that they were burying. So I believe this is 3-phase power, and maybe they will tack on a bunch of other internet and other type of things along this thing. Again, SpaceX has Starlink, but they may also want a bunch of other fiber cable or whatever, because there is the city of Boca Chica is in this direction we're looking right now, and maybe some of the residents there don't want to get Starlink. Maybe they want to get cable or whatever, so they will probably tack that onto these telephone poles and see what happens going forward. Thanks for the kind words, William. What we're seeing here in the distance is Damos. That is the Damos oil platform. I heard something by Michael Paul on Facebook that I believe they were going to maybe move this to possibly the Mississippi area or something over there, and they were going to start some work on the Damos platform. Oh, Mr. Lister says, well, I guess this explains why the crane's been placed. Mr. Lister, great. So you're saying they have a crane over there at SpaceX, and they're going to maybe lift something with that crane, huh? Where is that located? Is that at the build site or is that at the launch site? That's some good info. That's really good info. Thanks. So that's the Damos platform there in the center. I'll use my hand to point at it right over there. That big thing is sticking up in the center of the screen there. At the launch site, Mr. Lister says they have a big crane getting ready maybe. So then if they have a crane over there at the launch site, there is no road closure today. The road closure tomorrow was canceled. Possibly, I guess there is no road closure, so maybe they're just going to try and wing it with this today. These are very big things, so maybe they just, for whatever reason, they're doing it without a road closure. Okay, Juan says those ceramic rings on the power poles are insulators. Awesome. Thanks. And again, everybody, Juan is an electrician here in Brownsville area, Harlingen, McAllen. Thanks, Juan. All right. There's some mosquitoes out here today too. So I just did this in 4K as well. If you'd like to get some 4K imagery of any of this, just look on the YouTube channel. It just finished uploading, so there is a really clear view of what we're seeing here in 4K. Thanks, Monam. Okay, Juan says Damos is at the Port of Brownsville, located at Keppel Amphils, Port of Brownsville. Yeah, and the Damos oil rig platform is on the, see, there's a section of land along the side of the coast, which is on our side of the, there's our side of the Port of Brownsville, and then there is the far side of the Port of Brownsville, because there's two parallel, the water goes between the two sides of land. And so the Damos is on the other side of land, which goes out to the South Padre Island. So when we go down to the launch site here, this is about a 20-mile stretch from Brownsville to the launch site. On the opposite, so to go to South Padre Island, you have to come up this 20 miles or 18 miles of road, make a U-turn, and then go down on the other side of the Port of Brownsville back to South Padre Island. So it's actually only about a 5-mile stretch as the crow flies from the SpaceX launch site to the South Padre Island. But since there is no road, direct route across the channel over there, they have to do this 20 miles this way, 20 miles the other way. It ends up being a 40-mile trip from SpaceX to the South Padre Island. So with the boring company, they could put a road underneath that channel over there and make that a 5-mile each way instead of a 40-mile each way. If they built a tunnel from maybe there is the Kennedy Foundation has a good tract of land over there up the beach from the SpaceX launch site. So they own I believe 10 or more acres of land up there closer to the channel, and possibly if SpaceX wanted to make a deal with them, they could bore into the ground over there and get a shorter distance to go underground. But otherwise, maybe they could do a tunnel from the Dog Lake Park LLC area at the launch site, or maybe they would want to go from the build site owned by SpaceX and bore channel under there to the South Padre Island, or maybe they'd want to go to Port Isabel. Might be more stable ground over there. So. Yeah, Samuel, the tanks are, this section of road here we're seeing is newly constructed. Yes. Yeah, these are really big tanks, everybody. Monum is talking about the moon's around Mars, Phobos, and Damos. Samuel asks if they have whether or not they have room for these tanks over there. I don't know. And again, they do have they do have 2 big tanks already, which I thought were going to be used for the methane tanks to put next to the other 2 that are over there. Over there at the build site, there are 2 tanks that I believe are ready to move whenever. And now they have 2 tanks already installed at the launch site. So this is another 2 tanks that we're seeing here. So that would make 6 tanks, kind of big. And I have also in yesterday when I was over at the build site yesterday, February 22nd, 2022, I saw that some of those methane extractors, which were under the blue tarps, just behind the Starbase sign, it had like 3 or more of those big methane things under the blue tarps that they had covered for many months. And now there's only 1 of those left. So they have been moving those. Maybe they're moving those to the natural gas power plant they have over there. I got to take a better look and see if that's where they're moving them. But I could imagine these going to that same spot over there at the build site. But there is a chance that these will go to the launch site as well. So that's a sheriff there coming toward us right now, I believe. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay here. I thought it might be happening soon, but I definitely wanted to get some footage of this and also do a live stream. So I could continue from here to the launch site and then just catch them when they get down that way. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do another 10, 12 minutes. See how it goes. What a day. How many axles? Oh, that's a good question. All right, so let me see what we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll get the back wheels here of this other tanker. It's going to be the same on both of them. So there's the front and the back, right? So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of tires there. And that's just on the front, and on the back it probably has the same thing. So 12 is what I believe. Each of these has 12, I believe. Never mind, the actual truck itself has a couple as well, right? Yeah, I don't know if these are too big for the launch site area. These are very big. Yeah. Truck's got 3 or 4, okay, so 15 or 16 axle then. Good day to you, senses. This is just down the road from the checkpoint here to the left. It's about 17 miles, or it's about 16 miles from the launch site. And then it's going to be another couple miles into where I normally drive to. So we're pretty far. Yeah, thanks, Tim Minch. We're pretty far from the SpaceX facility, which is to the right here. Bill West says 320,000 pounds. I looked for some type of markings. I didn't see any markings on these tanks. So on the 4, I did a short 6-minute segment on this in 4K, and you can take a look at that. I didn't see any markings on these tanks. Maybe I missed something, but you can check out that video, which is finished uploading, and see if you see anything. Let us know. B-Dog, I'm on Highway 4 here. I was on my way to the SpaceX launch site. So this road that we're seeing here is Highway 4. And I'll zoom out. I get that shot again. I'll explain it once more. This is Paul Marcos Ocean Camera Space Corp. This road here is Highway 4, or Boca Chica Boulevard, and the road which comes like that angles into the road here. That's a new road from the port of Brownsville. So to the right here, which these tanks are coming from, it looks like they're maybe coming from the port. I've never seen this road used before. There is a chance that they backed into there. Maybe they were coming from Brownsville, but they backed in, but I don't know. Maybe they just came from the port, because I will shoot down the road a little bit. You can take a look, make your own decision, but I don't see any anything that would have blocked them from taking it from the port all the way to here on this road. So. Oh, there was a barge. John says there was a barge, and he saw 5 tanks on the barge. Okay, good deal. So this is the intersection from the port of Brownsville. This new road was built last year, and John says they arrived in the port on Monday or yesterday. Awesome, John. Well, then that would confirm that they did use this road to bring it from the port back a ways, which goes way, way, way back. That is the port of Brownsville over there, and this road, this is like an access way road that they built to bring it up to Highway 4 here, directly from the port, rather than going through Brownsville. They just use this road here. Biker 41445. B-Dog. They wouldn't back him in, says Space Cowboy. Thank you. I'm not sure what these tanks are for. Okay. Again, John was saying that he saw 5 on a barge. Dave says 6x2 per front and back, 12 axles total per front back. And then earlier, Bill was saying the truck has a couple axles as well, 3 or 4 on the truck. So Samuel asked about the power lines to Starbase. Looks like they're getting ready to move the trucks here, at least, or just to they're doing a little preparation here. The power lines are coming good. Looking to the left here, I just finished up a brief chat about that. We can see on the right are the original power lines, which are 2 lines, and then on the left are a bunch of newly placed power telephone poles, or power line poles, with looks like 3-phase power, and it's looking good. most of the way it's done. It's done most of the, at least 15 or so miles they've done of this electrical power lines, and they've even started putting cable under the ground over there by the launch site and the build, not by the launch site, but at least by the build site. Maybe they will extend it down to the launch site, those electrical cables. But one of the thoughts is that maybe there would be some type of explosion or something there whenever, so they would want to bury the power lines over there by the build site and the launch site. So that's why maybe they did not continue these power lines all the way to the launch site, but they have continued after a certain point. Before getting to the build site down this road here, they did start burying the power lines. So to the right here is SpaceX down the road about 15 or so miles, and we can see the power lines here on the right. All these power lines up here, it goes most of the way there, and then they buried it as they got close to the build site. So even though they buried quite a bit of cable down there, they still have to, I think someone was saying, they still need to put the cable into the piping that they, or into the conduit that they buried. So I guess they buried the surrounding, and they will be inserting the wire through them at some point once they got it all connected. Catnip Entertainment. Michael Maxey, these are coming from the port. John was saying that he saw them on the barge yesterday, and there were more than just two. So maybe, I don't know if any of these came down past this intersection here earlier, but maybe there's another 2 or 3 of them down there at the port. Otherwise, maybe they already took some of these to these build site and the launch site, but I'm not sure if anyone else has seen these yet. Yeah, maybe they're waiting on a sheriff escort or something. There was a sheriff here briefly to the right, and then that sheriff left. And today there is no road closure. Maybe they were planning to do this, and then the road closure was canceled because maybe they weren't sure they were going to move it today, but maybe they're going to still move it. So. Okay, Samuel says, I think they're burying the power lines to protect the endangered bird species in the Boca Chica area. His guess, maybe the blasting doesn't really make sense to you, Samuel. Good stuff. Thanks. Good info. Michael, thanks. Michael Peters. Yeah, SpaceX Cowboy says, I bet they hold them at Sanchez till they have the placement built. Yeah, that's a good thought. Some people, SpaceX, were saying that there was a crane over there at the launch site, so they may be waiting on something to lift over there at the launch site. All right, John says they're going to the Starbase launch site. So there we go. There we go. Okay, Biker 41445 says, I think that they are going to take the place of the methane tanks that now cannot be used at this facility. Interesting. SpaceX Cowboy, methane tanks, says the Crow. Juan says probably for methane, yeah. Okay, Juan says this road here was built to bypass 511. Okay, and 511 is a road that curves around in the city of Brownsville there. So 511 is actually much further up the road, and so Juan is saying they built this to just to skip that entrance over there at the Port of Brownsville and just come direct in this direction. That makes sense. Thanks. I didn't know the road or the reasoning, but good stuff. Captain Pike. All right, John says the SpaceX crane, the big white SpaceX crane. Also, some people call it Marvin. The Marvin crane has moved next to the methane tank area. Wow, this is awesome. Yeah, these are some big tanks, everybody. Yeah, yeah. The last time I drove out to the West Coast, I drove out to the West Coast last, I believe it was around June or so. I forgot the actual date. It could have been later. Maybe it was in October. I drove out to the Space Tech Expo, and there was a big fire along the highway and the road. And I was like, man, maybe should I stop and do some video, some live stream footage? And I didn't stop. But that was one of the first times. I've been doing all my video here at SpaceX launch site for at least 4 or more months, maybe longer. It's like, well, yes, I can do a live stream from anywhere as long as I have a signal, and basically anywhere in the United States I can do a live stream. So that was kind of a world changing thought for me, and I've done a bunch of live streams from places other than SpaceX. You know, I did a live stream from over there at the Hawthorne SpaceX location of the Falcon 9 rocket there on the corner. I've done some live stream from the Space Tech Expo in Santa Monica. I attempted to do a live stream from the Blue Origin location. I have upgraded my system now and my understanding of how to do a live stream since then. So I believe I could have, and I can today, do a live stream from almost anywhere in the United States, and it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to be able to do that, you know. So here we have another opportunity to do a live stream. Okay, the question was, are these able to be laid on the ground, or do they need a foundation? Says John Trott. Here, it looks like there is a piece of metal on the base there, and they're coming out. Looks like they might be coming out soon. So I got a flag, everybody. Yeah, there is a donate in the description. There's a way to donate using PayPal and a few other methods, Venmo, and support is greatly appreciated, everybody. Thanks. Thunderpants 3. Keenan. Joe says it's a gas at room temperature. Don't think it needs a spill wall. I got you. Biker says these tanks will be secured to concrete foundations. Yep. Michael says, I saw this fire at a Tesla production facility. The fire was at a building on both sides of the street. Okay, wow. Rob says the two big vertical tanks can't be approved, which are over there at the launch site. The big two tanks can't be used for methane storage or approved because they don't have the necessary clearance or the spill wall around them. So, yeah. Michael Maxey says the launch site is setting rebar for the concrete platform for these tanks. Good stuff, Michael. Yeah, I knew there was still a little piece of soil over there, dirt soil, next to the big methane tanks that they've already laid down. There was and they've been prepping that site for a while, and apparently they have some rebar in the ground over there as well. Good stuff. Okay, Biker 41445 says the overhead circuit of the power lines over there by the build and launch site, instead of putting electrical poles along the side of the road, they took the overhead circuit down. They put it underground to go under the access road so that there would be no overhead restrictions on the size of items coming out of the port facility. So the overhead, okay, interesting. I think that's what I was understanding, Biker. Okay, let me say that again. So Biker is 41445 is talking about this area here. He says the overhead circuit along this road here. That makes sense. So there's no power lines on this road here. And Biker's saying that they put the electrical cables down this road, they put it underground so that there wouldn't be any restrictions on this offshoot road down to the Port of Brownsville. That makes sense. Thanks. SpaceX Cowboy, thank you. Swayam, thanks. Sarthak. They're putting rebar in now over there at the launch site, says Bill. Thanks, guy. Awesome. They poured the foundations overnight, says John. Awesome. Wow. Okay, Bandit's Loft says it's a gas at room temperature, but it's not stored at room temperature. It's stored at cryogenic temperatures. Okay, awesome. Zoid says these are designed to be either freestanding or concrete foundations, depending on the ground. Captain Pike says it does need a containment wall. They didn't build one around the tanks at the farm, and therefore the state wouldn't certify them. Sergey, thank you, Sergey. Awesome. Thanks for the support. Good stuff. Yeah, Dave, at this site here, we are closer to Brownsville than we are to SpaceX. SpaceX is about 15 or so miles down this road. But at this point, we are beyond the border control checkpoint. There is a checkpoint up this road that checks every vehicle that passes by to see if there's if everybody is from the United States or if they have a passport or stuff like that. So Michael says since we're closer to sea level, they're doing some elevated concrete foundation. Good stuff. Yeah. If or when it really does get a hurricane or rain around here, the water does pull up. So there used to be I believe a city or a village over there at the end of Boca Chica Boulevard here, and they had that's why there's the land over there by the launch site is subdivided, because there used to be a town or a city over there, a small city with banks and everything, and then there was some type of big hurricane or something a while back in the 1900s, and it all got washed away. Stephanie says the concrete bases are ready for the tanks. Awesome. All right, there's a concrete truck up there too. So they're still doing some concrete work up there at the Port of Brownsville. Bill asked Mike Maxey, which Tesla factory are you talking about with that fire? John says, I think there will be 4 of these added to the tank farm. William says, I'd enjoy hearing some interviews of the locals on their thoughts on all this. This is their home and they got invaded. Yeah, William, I talked with I had to get my truck towed a few times in December and November, December timeframe of 2021, and I talked with one of the truck drivers there, and he was telling that's how I found out about the town or the village that used to be over there on the beach, and I believe it was a hurricane or something that did a lot of damage to all that area. But yeah, it'd be cool to chat with more people for sure. If anyone is watching if you're watching from the local community, or even if you're in the SpaceX crowd, or you're in the aerospace, or if any of you want to chat and share your view on anything, or your opinion, or your knowledge, I'd be happy to have you on camera, and as long as it's interesting, I'll be happy to share here on the channel. Be good stuff. I got an email in the description here, and you can always just leave a comment on a video, and I can get back to you. Khalid. Michael says he doesn't know, doesn't remember the bill. He doesn't remember the location for the fire, but saw it on a live stream. One of the coolest things that I saw last night, early this morning, for those of you familiar with the Ocean Camera Space Corp goal and the mission here is to video and to film some of the oceans on at least a few of the moons here in our solar system. There's over 200 moons, and most, if not all of them, have water on them, whether it's ice or an ocean beneath the ice. So Ocean Camera Space Corp is about filming the water, the oceans on the different moons here in our solar system. There's over 200 moons, and most of them have water, is what it's been confirmed by NASA using the various satellites that we've sent out there to do video imagery. And I was reviewing some of the videos from Dr. Caitlin Arians. I have a playlist here on the Ocean Camera Space Corp channel, and that one is called Solar System Info. If you want to check out those, I made a bunch of short segments from that interview we did last summer, and one of them, Dr. Caitlin was mentioning that if we had like unlimited money, the 2 coolest missions we could do would be to go to Enceladus, maybe have a small submarine that we put on Enceladus, And one of the reasons that was one of the good locations was because it has these geysers that comes out, and and make a good entry point for like a submarine or a camera or something like that. And then another location she mentioned were the moons around Saturn and Uranus, and that the moon Triton was another good location, a good moon to do a Ocean Camera Space Corp mission, or anyone else who has a camera, they want to get that ocean photography with a submarine or something, because since 1989 there's been plumes of water coming out into space from the moon Triton. So those are, I made a page on the Ocean Camera website, oceancam.space, called Missions, Ocean Missions, and you can read about some of this info. But this morning, I found a college paper from a group of people and individuals, maybe in their senior year capstone project or something like that, and they put together a 70-something page paper on the trajectories to get to Enceladus, to and from the planet on the moon. So they figured out the best ways to get from Earth to this moon around Saturn called Enceladus, which has an ocean underneath the ice, and then also to return with a sample. So they did all this work in 2007. I found it last night as a PDF. They were going to the University of Tennessee, and I downloaded that PDF and I put it on the Ocean Camera Space Corp website. So if you go to oceancam.space, you can go to the Ocean Missions tab in the nav bar, and you can, if you want to check out the trajectories, it saved a lot of time by someone doing all that excellent work and seeing the pros and cons of the different ways to get there and also to return. So that really made my day when I found that. Looks like they might be ready to go here. Let's see what's going on. The driver just got into the driver's seat here, everybody. See what's going on. Yeah, Malanka. Orange Army, you're correct. I will never film an ocean on another moon or planet, but we will film oceans on every moon and planet in the solar system. Whether it's something that I accomplish as a group with y'all, or whether somebody else in the future history of humanity does it, there's probably a 98% chance that I will fail at the Ocean Camera Space Corp mission. But I would rather live striving for something that would change humanity, and really, rather than something less inspiring and difficult. So I know it's a huge, difficult thing, maybe only 2% chance of success, but the more people like you and me that work on it, the more likely it will succeed. Everybody, the first one's off, heading down toward the launch site. The next one is coming around the corner here. They might have to have somebody block off the road before they make this turn. We'll see how it all goes down. Yeah, they do. This looks pretty big, everybody. I'm not sure if it's bigger, but I will get in the shot here. Alan. Good. It is a big tank, everybody. I am near the checkpoint for the border control here. About 15 or so miles from the SpaceX location. Juan says those are methane monster trucks. Hey everybody, I think the caps, I've disabled caps on the channel, so I apologize if you're getting timed out for that. Jocko, awesome. Smack that like. Thank you. All right, everybody. They're heading toward the launch site and the build site, maybe toward the build site at least. And if you're over there at SpaceX and you have some video cameras or whatever, look up. Get ready, they're heading your way. I'm gonna be heading that way myself soon. I'll get in the truck and I will follow these down. And Paul, Ocean Camera Space Corp CEO, watch this just happen now. The time, I'll check it out and I'll say it on the live stream here so we have it recorded. Thanks for watching, this is exciting. See you soon. The time is 3:26 p.m. everybody. Signing out in 5, 4. See you on the next one.